Libra. Libra messages for you for this weekend, basically for last few days of October 2022. However, the messages are timeless. If you felt drawn to this video and are watching, then there's probably the message for you at any later time as well. Hi, my name is ReGina. Welcome to this video. Welcome to my channel where I do different kind of readings, tarot readings, oracle card readings, intuitive readings, messages, all of that kind. This is only the second video on this channel, this type of reading video. I'm still working out on figuring out like what kind of schedule to follow on this channel, what type of readings to do specifically. So I'm still kind of testing out and trying different kinds, so don't judge me too harshly yet. Yeah, let's see what messages are there for you. I'm using oracle cards, and I'm gonna pull 3 cards and see what messages are there for you, Libra. Okay. Oops, so flipped over. I do use the cards that flip over or fall out. See what there is. There's another card. Oh, interesting. I'll see if my third card is going to be the same or not. Let's see. Oh. Okay. All right. It's not as when I said let's see about third card, just see how the colors, the frame kind of colors are the same, and this one is just different colors. So I was just wondering if the third card is gonna be the same color scheme, but it's not. Okay, yeah. So a new dawn. Protection and make a decision. So let's see. Okay, I want to start with a new dawn card because that seems like pretty significant. It just talks about you moving into some new chapter in your life, or in some situation you are moving out of something that's old in that situation and moving into a new level of or new chapter. Something new doesn't always mean that we're leaving the old completely behind, like we're let's say if it was a job situation, for example, like moving into new doesn't necessarily mean we're quitting the job and going and getting a different job. It may just mean we're moving out of some old situation, maybe old projects that you were doing there, or something that's not working anymore, and moving into new, like maybe having a new approach in your job situation. Maybe you got some promotion, maybe you are starting your new own business. But it can be both. It doesn't have to necessarily be like moving into something completely different. It can just be a new level of or new chapter into already existing kind of situation. And so here's the next card I'm going to talk about is make a decision, because this kind of on its own, the message of this card is to make a decision, like stop, like it kind of, this card usually comes up when you have been feeling stuck kind of somehow in life in general, or in some situation in your life, and you don't really know how to go forward, or what's the next step, or which direction to choose to go to. And so you kind of, instead of making some decision, you kind of stay in that stuck place. And the longer you are in that space, the harder it can be to make that decision and get out of it. And so the message here is to make a decision, to stop, take a few deep breaths, reevaluate where you are at and what is happening, and then become clear what is it that you want to do. Sometimes, I mean often, when it comes to decision, we usually kind of have a little bit of an idea, maybe at least a direction to go to, or we kind of wonder, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. Like usually it's not like that, I don't know what to do at all. But it could be that there are different options, and then it's just too many. Think of, like, every decision has some consequences, and think of what could be potential consequences to decision you are thinking of making, and for some reason feels like for some of you it's important to kind of think about that, like what are the consequences. Like if none of the decisions, sometimes the decision making is so easy where it's like, yeah, this sounds exciting, okay, let's do it, let's go for it, yes, and then we just know it's in alignment with who we are, with what the next chapter is in our lives, or the next chapter in this situation. And that's cool when it happens like that, but often it's not happening like that. And so then we maybe need to like kind of tune in. If you're watching this video and watching readings, then you are familiar with energies and how it works. Like feel it out, which one of the decisions makes you feel the best. Which one you feel the most comfortable with, like, think of a decision, maybe write it on a paper and feel it, like hold it and feel it, like, okay, this, like, maybe even you can do this thing, sometimes I do it myself. You have like a whole bunch of decisions, write each one of them down on a small piece of paper, separate piece of paper, each decision or each potential direction you could go, choice you could make, each on a separate paper, fold them, mix them, pull out one by one, and just take one and don't look at it, just hold it and ask, okay, is this the right one for me to Is this the right decision for me to make? Is this the decision I'm going with? And notice how you feel, what your first thoughts are, what your first feelings are. Does it feel warm, fuzzy, comfortable? Does it feel kind of worrisome or whatever else? And write down on a piece of paper the first one, so don't make, like, so you don't mix them together. So go through each one of them like that, and then open them up and see which one is that, what decision, which one was the one that felt the most comfortable with. You felt the most comfortable with holding without knowing what that decision is. Because, as you know, everything is energy, and whatever the decision was you wrote on that piece of paper, it comes with a certain energy. And you can feel it. And if your mind, this is one way how you can like leave the mind out of it when it's hard for you to make decisions and you have like different ideas in your mind what you could do or not. This way you can just go with what feels right, and then you can, maybe there's this one felt right, maybe there are like 5 decisions you can make, 5 ways to go about the situation, and maybe there are 2 or 3 of them that felt like pretty okay, and one felt the most strongest good, like gave most strongest good vibes, but then there are a couple others that were pretty good too. So look at all those, then involve your mind, make a decision that's balanced, like between your mind and your feeling, gut feeling, intuition. So, but yeah, that's one way how you can experiment with decision making. And the next card is protection, and it talks, usually the card protection comes out when there's some kind of worry about either some person in your life or you yourself, if you're afraid of something. Sometimes we feel like we need a protection just because we are moving into something that's new and we don't know how it's gonna go. And for some people, the first thought is like, wow, what if it's like, what's gonna go really bad? And what if something goes wrong? And then the fear starts to come in, and then people are afraid of making decision just because it seems scary, that decision. Or maybe they already know. I've also known people who know what decision they would want to make, but it's scary. It scares them, and then they kind of get stuck in that indecision mode. So sometimes it's good to kind of reevaluate, like, why are you feeling like you need, why are you afraid? And so this card says basically that it's gonna be okay. You are protected from spirit. You are gonna be okay. You can take a few deep breaths and kind of relax, get out of that fear mode, because you are protected by spirit in whatever the decision is you are going to make. Now, if you are in a situation where you are in like some abusive situation where there is like actual other human or humans that you are scared of, and you've already maybe experienced some abuse, then that is a different story. Then I would suggest to go and seek some help in I don't even know where exactly people go to ask for help if you are in some physically abusive situation, but go somewhere and ask somewhere, talk to people, and do get out of that situation. There are some support groups. There's always some helplines to call and things of that kind. But ask around and look for help. And so, if you are dealing with a situation like that, do go get away from that situation and people like that. So spirits can help with that, but that's not going to be the only help you need if that's the case. So and that's all I have for you, Libra. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you got some valuable information in this video. Like the video, and also if you vibe with my vibe, reading vibe, delivery vibe, and overall, then subscribe to my channel. Well, if you vibe with my vibe and want to see more videos from me, then subscribe to my channel, and I will see you hopefully in some future videos.